My daughter didn't just disappear.
I'll find you.
Took my daughter, you fucking mother!
U.S. Marine Sean Beckwith is heading to Juarez, Mexico, after receiving a distressing phone call from his daughter Lee after she went to party with friends.
In trouble. Please help.
In the phone call, it sounds like she has encountered a police officer. He tracks her car to an impound lot and sees it abandoned there, heightening his fears. He searches inside but finds nothing of use, then heads to the trunk fearing she might be in there, but it is empty except for a pair of Lee's sunglasses. He drives around town, hoping to catch some sight of her, but finds nothing, so he heads over to the local police station. He returns to the impound lot with officers, but the car is now gone. He swears it was there and that someone must have been watching him, but Officer Montoya thinks he was mistaken and maybe the Real owner came for the car.
It was right here.
Perhaps we were mistaken.
Goddamn plates were on the car, I told you that.
Sean insists that it was Lee's car as he saw the plates. As the back and forth continues, Sean is gradually growing more impatient.
The fucking plates were on the car!
But Montoya tells him he is trespassing and that his fellow officer will escort him back across the border. Sean heads back into the U.S. and home to his Texas ranch with more questions than answers. Inside, his wife Susan and eldest daughter Lauren see the look on his face and realize he has failed to return with Lee. He tries talking to Lauren, but she is angry at him for failing to protect them and refuses to talk to him. Later, Sean feels guilty for Lee's disappearance and thinks Lauren was right, but Susan reminds him they had no idea Lee was heading to Mexico. Sean recalls how worried he was when Lee left for college, but it was when she returned home to visit that she disappeared, and that is eating him inside. He shows her Lee's sunglasses and tells her about the missing car and the cops, and suspects that Montoya knows something. Later, Sean's Marine buddy Max Voden comes by, and after hearing the story, he too suspects the cops are in on it. Max is able to set up a meeting with Sean and the U.S. Consul General to seek assistance, but if he were in Sean's position, he would be raining hell down on Juarez, and after thinking for a while, Sean tells him to hold on to that thought. Sean and another dad visit the Consul General in Mexico, but instead of answers, they get the usual politician apology and the things like that happen every day speech. There is not much he can do, as the local cops are in bed with the cartels. If they were not trafficked by the Juarez cartel, maybe they overdosed on drugs, but Sean insists that Lee does not do drugs. He, however, wants to know more about the Juarez cartel and learns they are a group of former Mexican special forces turned traffickers and terrorists. The Consul General thinks they are playing with fire poking around. He knows of Sean's military background and warns that the cartel is just as ruthless, but all Sean hears are excuses. He shows the general a photo of his own family before walking out. News soon breaks of Lee's disappearance. Sean and Susan hold a press conference on their ranch pleading for Lee's safe return, and Sean promises to find her wherever she is. Listening to Sean's words is Victor Garza, head of the Juarez cartel, and he calls someone telling them they have a problem. That night, a hit team kidnaps Montoya and brings him to an unknown location along with his partner. Garza enters the room. He reminds the cops of the two girls they brought to him, and while they considered them a gift for Garza, he now sees them as a burden. One of their fathers is a Marine and has now turned his attention on their cartel, but the cops swear they had no idea. Garza's brother Carlitos then kills Montoya's partner. Garza plans to make Montoya suffer more, but until then, he will send Sean a warning not to mess with his business. He then orders Carlitos to cross into Texas with a team using their tunnel to meet a contact who has been following Sean.
Gracias, señor. Gracias. Gracias, señor.
After the men drag Montoya out, Garza tells Carlitos that if they can get the head of a Marine, then that will send a message to the world that no one is untouchable. They then leave one man to take care of the body. That night, as Sean and Susan lay in bed, she can see that he is lost in thought. She asks him to talk to her, but Sean can find no words to express how he feels. She, however, thinks he is shutting her out, reminding him that Lee is her daughter too. Sean apologizes, but Susan can see that she is losing her husband.
Babe, talk to me.
nothing, Susan.
You don't get to shut me out. The only one missing a daughter.
You're right, I'm sorry.
The next day, a convoy of cars heads into Texas. Inside, a cartel hit squad led by Carlitos readies their weapons. Sean is out feeding his horses when he notices a coyote in the distance and runs to grab his gun. Carlitos meets the contact on the edge of Sean's ranch, and he confirms that the signal jammers are active. Sean takes aim at the coyote, but notices a signal jammer tower a distance off. He picks up a few others around the property, then spots the convoy heading his way. As the trucks close in, Sean sprints back to the house yelling for Susan, letting off a shot trying to alert them.
Susan!
One man opens fire on Sean as he gets to the house, but Sean kills him, then continues letting off shots while retreating into the house. Inside, he sends Susan to grab his gun upstairs before killing another man as they approach the house, causing the men to open fire until Carlitos tells them to stop shooting. Susan finds the gun and realizes they have no way of calling for help. A few miles away, Sheriff Riggins gets a call from dispatch about gunfire on the ranch and starts heading in that direction. Carlitos has a few men push on the house, but the first man to enter, Sean sends him flying back through the door. Sean retreats, throwing some plates on the ground, and Carlitos orders his men, including a scared-looking Montoya, to surround the house as he wants no one to leave alive. A few men enter the house cautiously while Carlitos hangs back with a few, as he knows that Sean is not someone to be taken lightly. One man comes up the stairs, but Susan hears him approaching and hides in the closet. Downstairs, one man steps on the broken plates, and Sean shoots him through the door and finishes off the second man. No! Upstairs, the gunman comes searching inside the room, while Susan stands with her gun ready. The man opens fire on the closet, but when he comes to check, Susan kills him as she was crouched inside. The rest of the men breach the house, while Carlitos still stays back with one man, urging him to be patient. As the men inside start advancing, Sean starts sniping them. Carlitos finally pushes on the home, and they open fire on Sean as he escapes up the stairs. He reunites with Susan and Lauren, then grabs a rifle from the closet. Downstairs, Carlitos refuses to push on the stairs and sends a reluctant Montoya instead. Two men accompany him, but the first to push his head up gets it taken off. The others then push on the stairs, but Sean sends them running for cover and keeps them there with rapid gunfire. Sean sends Susan and Lauren out the window, then kills the two shooters expertly, leaving Montoya crying and hiding behind cover. Carlitos sends him to check, but Sean holds him at gunpoint and uses him as a human shield. Outside, Sheriff Riggins enters the driveway, and a man outside reports it to Carlitos, who wants no one to leave alive. Riggins sees the bodies and tries radioing in, but gets nothing. As he gets closer to the ranch, the gunman outside opens fire, forcing him to reverse. The car comes to a stop, and the man comes to check, but Riggins kills him with a shotgun. Carlitos kills Montoya and opens fire on Sean, who returns fire but narrowly escapes a grenade. Carlitos thinks he's dead and sends a man to check, but Sean has made it outside to Susan. Carlitos and his men then exit the house and begin to engage Riggins, who does well to keep the men back with just his shotgun. Sean sends Susan and Lauren to get the truck, as he refuses to leave the cop to die, but Riggins is soon killed. With just his pistol, Sean drops two shooters and starts engaging the others from behind cover. Susan manages to get the truck started, and Sean jumps in and takes off under gunfire. Wasting no time, Carlitos and what's left of his men give chase.
¡Vámonos, vámonos! ¡Pégate,
In no time, Carlitos catches up, and they begin shooting at the truck, but Sean does well to stay ahead of them. The chase continues along the winding dirt road, and Sean reloads his pistol, prepared to put an end to this. He suddenly stops, then starts unloading on the van, killing everyone and injuring Carlitos. He demands to know where Lee is, shooting him in the leg when he refuses to answer. Carlitos finally reveals that it was the cops that took Lee and gave her as a gift to Garza in Juarez. He offers to take Sean in exchange for his life, but Sean kills him.
I won't.
He then calls for Susan and Lauren and puts them inside Carlitos' truck, telling them to head to their neighbor's place and stay put. She is afraid of losing him, but Sean refuses to die until Lee is back. He then calls Max, telling him about the incident in Garza, and is now ready to do things his way. The two meet at a gas station, and Max has already reconned Garza's current address. His trunk is loaded with weapons, and Sean again wants to make sure he is ready, but Max has been itching for a fight. The two then head into Mexico in Max's car and arrive in Juarez by nightfall, and Sean has not said a single word the entire trip. The two get to Garza's mansion later that night and see him there, demanding to know where his brother is. The two suspect that there may be as many as 20 guys on location and 50 as QRF, and predict they have 10 minutes to take everyone out before the QRF arrives. Sean doesn't care, and whether or not Lee is still alive, nobody will leave that mansion alive. Inside the mansion, Garza learns there is no sign of Carlitos, which is just the start of his problems. Sean and Max take out two guards outside, kicking off their assault. One man comes outside for a smoke, but is killed before he can take a puff. Moving tactically as a two-man unit, they infiltrate the home. Swiftly killing everyone they come across while searching for Garza. Two more men fall in the kitchen before they can react, but two guards manage to evade and return fire, which alerts Garza, who then calls for his entire army to get to his mansion. Sean and Max push on the two men and take them out. They clear one part of the building when they come under heavy resistance in the courtyard. They trade bullets with a small team of men who manage to keep the two behind cover, but the men are outskilled and all killed. They then push into the main building and split up. Sean battles and kills one man easily. Max then gets to Garza's room and holds him at gunpoint. Garza offers him cash, but no amount of money can save him from what's coming next. Sean then enters the room, demanding his daughter. Garza tells him she's alive, but Sean knocks him down, then beats his face in with his bare hands until Garza begins to cry like a baby. He offers to take him to Lee, swearing that she is very close, so Sean drags him to his feet. As they drive, Max asks Garza about murals with the severed animal heads around Juarez, and learns they are offerings to Santísima Muerte, the patron saint of death that his cartel prays to watch over them when they die. Garza leads the two to one of his safe houses on the edge of town. He claims not to know how many men are inside, and shows Sean the special knock he uses to enter. Max leads the way to the house. They use the knock, but gunshots riddle the door. Despite this, they breach and kill everyone inside. The last man points them to where the girls are being held, and Sean enters the room where he finds Lee, and the two embrace in tears. He grabs her friend, and Max tells them to leave while he wraps things up with Garza, pulling his blade, ready to end him. The next morning, Max drops Garza's head at one of the murals as an offering himself. A few days later, Sean watches his three girls with pride, happy to have his family reunited once more, but deep down, he knows trouble is coming. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more recaps just like this. And hey, don't click away just yet. YouTube thinks you'll love one of these two videos popping up right here, so check them out next.